Hey guys.
Hello.
Welcome
to another episode
of Banter over Brunch. My name is Alexia Musau.
My name is Alice Kanji.
And
I enjoyed this episode because we're talking about how to take care of your digital health and all the nuances involved into it. I think we brought out some really nice points, and also there's things that even me, I'm going back to think about myself, like, do I really, what's my digital health like?
Yeah. I know mine is not at its best, but definitely because I'm also moving into a space where I want digital to be work for me, I definitely need to have a balance and create, have it in a way that I can work and enjoy, but still protect myself and still have the self-care. So I think this was a very informative episode. We do want to hear from you guys also as well, how you take care of your digital health and your digital self-care strategies.
I think you'll enjoy this episode, honestly. And any other episode we've released, we have very many episodes, enough for you to listen for even a month, every day.
Every day, actually. So, not 3 months.
Not
4 months.
Honestly.
Okay, 3.5.
Okay, I
daily.
don't know. Over 100 episodes anyway.
In short.
Keep up with
Do
us
the math.
I hope you enjoyed this episode, and
see you on the other side. Bye-bye.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode of Banter over Brunch.
B.O.B. aka B.O.B. Actually, there's some people who call us B.O.B. Okay, that's funny.
What is that? Is that something we should...
some emails we call ourselves thanks B.O.B. received.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, B.O.B.
It's easier. Banter over Brunch
like,
is too long to talk.
Yeah, and then people say brunch as brunch like mti sometimes. So
I don't understand why it takes people sometimes to process.
No, it is. I think we were being too smart when we came up with the name.
Like, it's just Banter over Brunch.
To overthink.
Why would you think brunch tree, brunch nini, and I don't know.
Over a brunch.
I think maybe we are too used to saying it so it's easy for us.
It's like
sielewi mbona wezi elewa Banter over Brunch.
Hey.
Ama it's coming from a point of privilege. You know, people watu wengine hawajui brunch ni nini.
Yeah, or banter.
Or banter.
Unajua story, nini. What's banter?
Yeah, what's banter? Actually, it's true. So, we are woke, educated women.
Okay, guys.
Like Dr. Maria.
Like Dr. Maria. Anyway, if you don't get the joke,
if you don't get it, forget about it.
But like,
you need to keep up with the times.
Welcome to this episode. I don't know if you need to do a catch up. How are you? You good?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm decent. Life is lifing, but we move. Sina maoni.
Tell me I'm doing good. I think, can get into the episode. Today's episode is about self-care, but in terms of digital self-care. I think even in one of the episodes we did where we were talking about what we're too young for, Alice said, you're too young to not be tech savvy and move with the digital times. And we know that millennials have grown up with the internet, and Gen Zs obviously have come and picked up on it as well.
Yeah.
So everything is internet. Melekeo ni internet, you know?
That being said, you also now need, that comes with its negatives.
With its negatives, just because it's something we've grown up with doesn't mean it's a good thing, you know, or that it doesn't have its...
With every good comes bad.
Yes, exactly. So we need to learn, we have to create systems that help us stay in check. So I guess this is what this episode is about. And I think even us individually have felt sometimes that, information overload or it's too much.
And what's interesting is very recently, not very recent, but over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of studies that have been done about regulation of digital platforms because it's an industry that's also very difficult to regulate because it's almost like providing a space for everybody to have an opinion.
Yeah.
So sometimes it also tricks you into thinking that this opinion is valid. It's what is set in stone. Yeah. Because you forget that Google, it's what people are saying. That's someone writing an article, it getting famous, algorithm favors it, coming to the top of the algorithm. And that first Google search is what you take as true.
Yeah.
But everything is very opinionated, and everything on the digital platforms are honestly human curated. So
and
even
humans are.
Humans wako na mavitu zao. Even my thesis in uni was with regards to attitudes of uni students towards regulations that govern social media narratives. And doing that study also just showed me all the other studies are trying to find the same solution for the same thing. There was never a conclusion on like, what can be done. The conclusions I got are like, okay, let me not get too deep into this, but like, it was just showing that there's a dire need for there to be a way to regulate digital platforms. But maybe as we get to doing that, there are things you can do yourself to help you figure these things out, because at the end of the day, we can't put all the responsibility on government, on organizations to be held accountable for these things. All Snapchat or Instagram does is provide for you the platform. So now it's up to you to figure out how to navigate that space, especially now that we're digitally consuming a lot of things in a day.
Screen time. Sometimes I look at my screen time on Sundays and I'm like, Alexia, surely,
it even gets to a point to just accept.
I said, see, accept. I'm not a slave to my phone. I don't like being a slave. And then the thing of even, they give you, after how long do you pick up your phone? You realize you're always picking up your phone. Sometimes you're watching something, you're not even watching what you're watching. You're scrolling. There's a lot to unpack about digital health. A lot, yes. Maybe we can get into it.
We can.
Yeah. Do you want to go fast? I know you're big on digital detox and taking time off.
I am not big on taking time off.
Yeah.
I think there's an episode also educate me, because I love the internet. So
you do. Okay. I think for me, in terms of like a digital detox, which I think the last time I did that, it was a long time ago. I think it was 2019.
Have I ever had a digital detox? 2019 as well.
Yeah, and I literally went off social media for 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. I think it was 3 months. And it was very...
How was the experience?
I think for me at that time, yes, 2019 looks like when it was happening in 2019. The same way we feel now, it was how it was back then. It was like the internet was a big thing. It's not long ago. So for me, it was very eye-opening. Number one, I realized even to do the detox, I'd have to delete the apps because of muscle memory. Every time, you just know where your Instagram is. You know where Twitter is. Yeah. You know where here. So I was like, nah. I'll keep opening these apps and then I'll just break my detox because I'll start going through the content. So I had to delete the apps. I realized also that there's life outside social media. And for me, it was like, I feel like social media creates this urgency that if you don't post it, it didn't happen.
It's
so you
true.
feel like, okay, I need to show that I woke up.
This happened.
Big fan of recaps. So you say woke up, you have to show you woke up.
I used to do those recaps religiously.
Yeah, I was.
Posting since I have become terrible. But now you see when we have spaces like this, for example, B.O.B., and then you have responsibilities in case, for example, influencers, when you are dealing with brands, it's a bit more difficult for you to now take that digital detox because
when you have a client, like
this is your life. So now trying to navigate how you can allow yourself to do that without feeling like there are things without feeling like you're losing out on things, opportunities, or you're slacking on your content, because that's another pressure in itself, because it's like taking breaks from work. Sometimes it feels like it's such a big deal to take a leave, but you're given leave days for a reason, baby girl.
You are. And I mean, I follow content creators who I've noticed a trend where they'll be like, okay, I'm off on Sundays and I don't post, I don't consume, to patani Monday. Same way when you leave your office, you leave your laptop, you leave everything, you leave your work emails, you come back on Monday. But with social media, because it's on our phones it's with accessible. Us, and it's also entertaining and etc., you end up not separate, especially if you're working, especially if your work is merged with social media. So it's sort of like, okay, I'm not working, but I'm still consuming. I'm still doing it for entertainment purposes. So I think for me, the way you said, sometimes it's not possible to do a long-term detox, but I think in terms of having days where you're not on social media, I think that's something that can work to slowly build up the muscle.
Na hizo days unamiss ndio vitu happen. No, we're not, ndio sasa sijui kuna Twitter space sijui tulisikia juzi ati. People are unpacking, I don't know what, when you're sleeping. That's the days sijui maandamano, it's hot, it's piping,
Yeah, but you can always get the receipts. I feel like it's just that urgency that has been created in our brain that we feel, oh my God, I missed out on that. How? But at the end of the day, it's really not that serious. This Twitter spaces, the next day people have forgotten about it. After 24 hours, 48 hours, people have moved on and something hotter is now trending. So you'll catch up with the hotter.
It's so true. You'll catch up with the hotter thing.
Yeah. So I think for me, what I'm trying to implement now is time blocks with my day. I try not to go on social media before 9. Like 9 a.m. is when I'd log in to social media. For someone who wakes up early, I can't start at 5 a.m. Surely. Nishaanza scroll 5 a.m.
Your mind's already so filled with so many things.
Yeah.
By the time you...
So I say,
and that's a habit that a lot of people struggle with. Most of us struggle with waking up and the first thing you do is check your phone or your social media. Who texted me? What's going on Instagram, Twitter? What's the team? Yeah, it actually never sleeps.
And the scrolling is so, like, before you know it, 10 minutes have passed, 20 minutes. You're late for work.
I can generally stay on that bed for an hour.
And TikTok.
Separate time. TikTok now is another pandemic. Honestly speaking. TikTok, hey, I don't know what we're going to do with TikTok.
Yeah.
Because once you start TikTok, it's very hard to go back.
It's very hard to watch at one video and then you're out.
Even 5. Yeah, that's like...
Next.
Yeah, that's next.
And
next.
Different topics. So interesting.
And so relatable to you. Whatever you're going through is what TikTok pushes on your face.
But let me tell you, I was talking to my partner about it and we were like, even if you just, for example, because when you're scrolling, your senses, there's your sight, you're seeing these videos, you're hearing because they'll start talking as you scroll, and then your touch, you're also scrolling. So we're like, okay, now we're on social media, mute. Don't have the sound on, because most of the time it's the sound that will first attract you or whatever the person is saying, and then you'll stop to watch something probably you wouldn't even necessarily watch on a regular or agree with or anything, but maybe because of the opening statement, you're like,
That's exactly what people do, actually.
Yeah,
they say something at the beginning.
They want you to be, and I mean, our attention span is really reducing because of such things. So guys are also working smart.
Like, can you actually just think about what you do with your life if you're at home and you're not doing social media or digital things? Like, what do you do with your day?
I don't know. I'd read a book.
I read a book. Kitabu hata uliweka kwa store, sijui siku gani tu.
What would people do?
I just thought about it, like, what would my day entail? Stima zikipotea, disaster. I feel like my life is...
Can't stay.
So now what's next? How are people living before the internet?
Yeah. Imagine. We don't know. But they were okay. They
like
didn't know.
Simu tu, okay, even if they had a phone sawa ya kupigia. Landline ile ya nyumba kila mtu anakupigia.
Hey, these are the times we're in. Yeah. And people are not comfortable being in silence, being in their own space. Because also, again, social media makes you feel like you're with people where they are. It's true. Umefingia mtu ako South Africa, unasikia, hey, hata me, I'm there. You stop feeling kidogo lonely.
But that thing has hit me.
Yeah.
What will my life be if I was not on the internet?
And I see these people on YouTube, once in a while it pops up. I've not been on social media for 3 years. And I'm like, I should watch those videos.
There's a friend of ours who keep asking me, kwani ameenda wapi? Like, it's abnormal for him to take that hiatus. But he just decided in January and now he's just...
And his life is moving on. So when I hear about him from Alice, I'm like, oh, Uncle.
No, he's not on Twitter anymore. He's not on Instagram, and it's someone who has a following. Is it indefinite,
or he'll think about it like all this?
It was supposed to be indefinite or for a short while, but I don't know. He just seems okay without it. What does he do?
We should have invited him as a guest.
But we invite him, why not?
Yeah. But then he's never been on the podcast.
He can easily be on the podcast. To invite anakuanga na magems. Next guest. Tushamwa. Hiyo hata si request. Hiyo sasa tunamwambia wewe unakuja next episode.
Tungekuwa na time leo
hata nimwambie tu akuje. Unajua siku hizi hata kuna gari. Wow.
So when you leave the social media. Now, I'm telling you, if you were still on social media, everyone would know Akola Gari.
It's
but
true.
You see, now it's only the people who are interacting with him on a day-to-day, on a daily, who need to know. If you think about
I'm really thinking about it, by the way. Eh?
Even me, I always
haters. But now it's too late. Before BOB, I would have taken. That was
now
my chance.
we're there when we have to shop for you guys and tell you to follow us on it. On that note, encourage us.
Are you seeing
before we take the
dilemma
break
we are having? We don't have the privilege of taking our digital detox.
Anyway, yeah, so I think that's just taking time off.
No, don't detox from this podcast. Hizo mnaweza sikia.
No, hizo ni different. Hata kama utaki kuingia YouTube, we have audio, you know.
Tupo
sites. Yeah, so anything else you think you'd like to add or another strategy?
About digital detox?
Yeah.
I think we've covered a lot of things on that, but so just make sure that you take care of your digital health and your consumption, because you can really take just a breather. It's important for us to take breaks and for you to support us while you take those breaks. I think the next point that we can talk about is being conscious about your bias and social media. What I mean by this is if you notice the things you see on social media, it is because of the content that is curated based on what you like or what your opinions are. So if you're someone who believes strongly in maybe the philosophies of things like that people consider toxic, like Andrew Tate, his unhinged opinions, a lot of the content that you're going to consume are going to be towards, toxic men, or, how to be a man in a way that maybe distract you from really understanding, okay, what's the other side of the coin? Because now it really enforces those opinions of yours. And that's just a small example. And that's why we had this whole thing, and even a Netflix documentary on the situation of election rigging and everything. I've forgotten what the name of that organization was, but basically it was all about how elections were Cambridge Analytica, yes. And it was just as simple as enforcing people's opinion and over reinforcing that bias of this government is wrong, let's be violent, let's do this, let's do that. This spreading hatred towards your algorithm so that it really reinforces that bias of yours and makes you easily not be able to see what the other side of the coin is, or just basically the internet has the power to influence you, and you need to really understand how you're being influenced. And that's why some people say it's important for you maybe to not use some certain search engines like, I don't know, Google or whatever, or maybe use a VPN, or just don't share data with them so that you can really receive unbiased opinions on everything. If your TikTok algorithm today was not wired towards the things that you're liking or things that is really reinstating the things you believe in, then maybe you'd have different opinions on certain things, honestly, if you think about it. So I think it's important for us to really know that even as you consume whatever you consume really impact, because you're on the internet every single day, and that means all the algorithms are in your favor of what you are thinking about.
Exactly. And so keeps bringing back that.
So really, really just think about how this bias might really be altering how you're thinking about things or just your opinions, so that you're able to know. Maybe once in a while, just think about what the other side of the coin is, or what other people's opinions are. If you're really an Andrew Tate believer, your story nimeshikilia, just think about why people are hating on him, and not be so enforced on those opinions, so that you're really able to see, okay, maybe these people are forcing issues. And it works because of the Cambridge Analytica case. That's why they were in it, because of the impact of on the election results of these various countries based on digital, bias. So,
crazy.
Yeah, I think you need to be very conscious about the bias you have and challenge them. On your point, Yango.
Even like mental illness, like there's a whole illness on TikTok. Then you're like, I don't know what it's called. You guys know it. And today people shake, and it became a whole thing, and now people started even doing it for believing they have that.
Yeah, for clout.
It's a lot.
people these days are self-diagnosing that they have anxiety because of things they're saying. Just one thing that they think is that they see is similar to someone else. Now I have anxiety because every single thing now in your algorithm is making you feel
all these things,
and forcing you to think you have self-diagnosing something, and then now you start because your belief is a very weird thing. Because you start to believe it, now you really start to pretend or act like that. Like this is for sure what I have.
And even when I went for therapy last year, it was something that we were discussing also with she wasn't my therapist, but she was like the psychiatrist who owns the place anyway. Yeah, so she's just like, nowadays in the day and age of social media, someone will share something and you relate to maybe one point or something about this disease, and you can end up thinking you have it. And that's why they're really encouraging people, don't self-diagnose. You start taking dawas, you start saying, me, I have OCD, I have Nini. You think OCD is just being neat, but it's actually a disease. And that's why you find now mental health diseases are desensitized, because people take it as a joke. Anxiety, kusikia tu wasiwasi.
And as much as we're bringing awareness, you're also bringing the other side of the coin is people now thinking they have something they don't have.
They don't have, and naming
and
it
making
that.
it even at its cool to some extent. Like, so I have ADHD, and basically, like, it's not cool. Like, people are suffering from those things. That's just Gen Z behavior, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I think for me, one strategy that I think works wonders is turning off your notifications. These apps want your attention so bad. Every time we download an app, they prompt you to add, to have push notifications. And for me, I remember one day I completely switched off WhatsApp notifications. Hey, vitu zenye zilikuwa zinanipita. Okay, for me it was a bit hectic because people were thinking I'm ignoring them, emergencies, like. But I was like, wow, I was just in my own world. I'm not seeing any message coming in, because sometimes it's not even something you're interested in, but because your brain has seen or has had that thing, you want to pick your phone immediately.
And these apps even hire people specifically for that, to analyze behavioral business or whatever they call it, so that they're able to, they know the exact time to send you that notification based on your habits or your behaviors. They know exactly the messaging they need to put. And we know these things because we also do marketing.
Yes.
They know exactly how to catch you. And remember, this is a business. They need you to log into Instagram and not Snapchat or whatever. Market. So, it is what it is. So really just understand that. I think people forget that the digital space is a business.
Yeah.
People pay to be number one in those algorithms.
Let me tell you, something like Twitter was so unhinged. It used to bring me crazy notifications of whatever is trending, which is probably nonsense. So I'm wondering, who is this person that I don't even follow? Who is talking so much
Twitter
nonsense?
Has that behavior.
And now that notification has come to me. So I was just like, mimi mambo ya notifications nimezizima. I think now I just have, obviously, even WhatsApp, I think I'll do it again. Or muting groups, or muting things that I know are not as important, because I'm in a group for marketers. I need to add you to that group. They have interesting conversations, but they talk too much. Hey, marketers. Hey?
Utajuaje wako marketing? Part of the personality.
Adi morning. You wake up. You've not even, it's too much. But I think limiting notifications. Also, I think even for me, like, my notifications don't come up until 7 a.m., which I think also is a bit too early. I need
automatically
to push it.
Do not disturb.
Yeah, I need to push it
time.
Because you just floods your nini. Because now, before even you've done your morning routine or you've just centered yourself, you're already having to reply to things, deal with things. There's already so much information. People already chaos. Nah. Notifications, see, must. It's not that important. At the end of the day, if it's a crisis, people can call you.
It's true. If it really is a crisis, if you're on Do Not Disturb, they can call you twice.
They can call you twice and you'll get it and you realize,
maybe it's serious.
Maybe. Yeah. So, but our to our airplane mode, they're very fear. They don't fear anything.
Surely. Airplane. But nilisikia fununu that Android airplane mode haikuangi as effective. Is it true? That people are saying that how Apple and Do Not Disturb, it is Do Not Disturb. You get nothing.
Or focus mode.
You can even say that it is that you don't, even if someone calls you and you Do Not Disturb, you can even put that setting of they will not reach me until I decide to call them back.
Hey.
And that annoys me. But I heard, I don't know, I was listening on a podcast that with the Android, like they can even make sure they get your second phone to redirect that call so that you receive it. Okay, that's jokes, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, was your girl what goes Android defamation?
I just said grapevine.
Yeah,
but yeah, turn off notifications. I 100% agree and put more. I mean, but by okay, maybe it's too late, but 11 is when my do not disturb begins, ends at 9 a.m. So
yeah, that's good. Okay, I think my last point, which I think is also a heavy point, is make use of the unfollow button, block button, and mute button. There's some people you need to block straight out. There's some people you need to unfollow because they just don't serve your interest anymore, or yeah. And there's some people you need to mute. I mean, you could also be falling out with a friend and you just don't want to see their posts. It's affecting your mental health. Mute, but you don't want to block and you don't want to unfollow. Mute. I think these features can really help you curate your space and all that. And I think even like something like Instagram has a new feature, favorite. So you can favorite accounts and look at that and just have that on your timeline. Also, Twitter was wilding because you could be following someone, but they are following someone else, so they've liked this and it has landed on your account. But now they have like following and for you or something similar to TikTok, so you can be able to maybe just focus on what you actually want to
content. Yeah, and I think with regards to that point, it related to what my last point was. Which is curating content based on what you can handle at that time. So for example, I don't know who was talking about this, but let's say out of nowhere example, you're looking to get a child, but you're struggling to get kids. Then on your timeline, you're seeing your friend, has a kid, playing with them or talking through their journey of how, there's some influence or just influencers who share their journeys. But for you, that's such a heavy thing for you or a trigger. That's okay for you to mute that content. For me, when I feel I'm not in a mentally stable place or I'm very low, I purposefully consume content that I know will not make me stay in this space. For example, I can't listen to specific sad music or sad content. Instead, I'll consume content that I feel will elevate me, will elevate my mood, will motivate me. So I think curating content based on what you can handle or just how you're feeling at that moment is very essential for you to feel like this is a safe space for me. Because the content to consume again really has an impact on you and your like if you're right now you're struggling with your mental health, content that you consume really can either make or break that as well. So true. I think you can, that's one way I really look at it, and I take this one very seriously. I think this is the biggest thing about my digital health that I take very seriously. I know right now I want to, but I can't listen to Sam Smith right now. I cannot listen to this podcast right now because it's going to be banter. And right now I need a motivational thing or I need, something of the sort.
Yeah. So, and once you're in a different space, you'll go back to that particular content. For me, I think it's just understanding the season that you're in. Sometimes that's what I'm saying, even you're following maybe an influencer who at some point was really there for, like, it was entertaining or whatever, and now it's a point where maybe they make you feel bad about yourself. Of course, I think it's something to do with you. Yeah, but you can take that power and say, okay, I'll put a stop to consuming this type of content just for a while as I figure me out. There's no need and to just be in that space and then you feel bad. It doesn't work like that. And then sometimes you even now, because of all those feelings that you're feeling and nini, you end up projecting. Unaanza kutusi influencer na hata, you see some people so like doing negative. The most on people's DMs and comments and just being mean, and if you literally just take that time out, because at the end of the day we are humans and we have these feelings. And sometimes you don't mean them, It's
true.
Yeah.
And then incorporating it into your routine. In the morning, okay, at least let me talk on my behalf. In the morning, I need to really be in a mind space of motivating me to get into the work mindset. So if I'm going to the gym, I listen to a podcast about marketing, or I don't know, about the world, the state of the world in terms of economically, financially, blah, 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 the financial markets and everything. That alone is enough for me to put my mind into the work mode or marketing mode or this mode, rather than me listening to Banter Brunch at this time, because that's just not the content that I feel will help me where I want to be at this time. Then now in the evening, now when it's time to relax, there's content specifically for that. If you want to see it now when you're sleeping, that's the time you want to listen to, I don't know.
Diary of a CEO.
Now you're feeling how you're not doing enough in life.
You go to bed. Then it's time to be in bed,
So horror movies also do something for you. So yeah, content, just really consume content that is helpful for you or is great for you. And it's okay to block, it's okay to mute, it's okay to feel like I love you as my friend, but right now the content you normally bring, for me, I cannot handle it right now.
And I think something that has been repeated. Social media is a highlight reel. No one will show you. Even me, maybe I'll show you, okay, I'm pregnant. But very few people will show you, I struggled to get pregnant. Many people will show you, oh, I've graduated. Very few people will show you when they're actually crying.
In that process.
And doing their thesis, being even maybe didn't have school fees at some point. Very few people will show you that. Okay, I'm getting married. No one will show you when they were heartbroken or when they found their partner cheating before they found this partner.
You're just thinking it's perfect.
You're just thinking, wow, their life is so amazing. Nah,
it is whatever opinions you have of us, delete.
No one is there when us were, going through it, So don't take everything as is. Of course, appreciate, support, nini, but just know that is just a highlight reel, and that's how it has been made to be. Very few people will show you their actual struggle up until something comes to life. But yeah. Anyway,
I think, I don't know. Do we have anything else to add? That's why we call it a day.
I think probably just to add that we're not saying the digital tech, social media is a bad thing. It's just, as we said in the beginning, there are two sides to this coin. If you overconsume, it has its effects, And I think the internet is an amazing place. People have met partners there, have gotten into jobs through the internet.
People have ruined their lives through the internet. Exactly,
have ruined their lives. Others have even, I don't know. It takes one to even just
does things to you. I don't know. A lot of things involved.
It's just the reality of what it is, and we have to learn to create systems to protect ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed that episode. Do share with us on the comments some of the ways you practice digital self-care. We'd love to know them as well. We're just the two of us, and how much do we know between the two of us? And your hundreds and thousands.
Tell us what we've left out, honestly, in the comments, so that we can help the community know other ways they can really take care of themselves and their digital health.
I guess that's it for now. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Follow this podcast wherever you're listening to the podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Banter Brunch. Squeeze, you're not active on Twitter. But yeah.
TikTok is where we are also going to be this season.
Follow us on TikTok.
Follow us there. We say this as we tell you to curate your digital content at the time you can handle to consume our content.
Consume our content. Even us sometimes we are not healthy for you. So
and that's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We can end it here.
So guys,
see you next week.
Bye-bye.